Mike Florio, look, here's a very simple thing. You're not making yourself look good. How is our country in crisis by deporting criminals? Nobody said a word when Obama deported hundreds of thousands. Nobody said a word. Mike Florio somehow is shaken to the core by some criminal being kicked out by his wife. The Democratic Party has become the party of the MS-13 gang. It is literally unbelievable. I don't get why and how the liberals decided this is the most important thing to us, and we want to die on this hill. All right, Mike Florio, look, here's a very simple thing. You're not making yourself look good by saying and defending an MS-13 gang member in El Salvador. Honest to God, why would you even inject yourself into this? One of the few things that I've said to avoid talking about while on air is, number one, you never talk about Hitler. Number two, the N-word and all that stuff, that's for others. Don't try to be cute. Jerry Sandusky, that whole thing, don't try to be cute. And now, defending MS-13 gang members that allegedly rape, rob, attack, assault. Congressmen are flying to El Salvador to get some clown out. And even Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk has to chime in. Now, here's the deal. It's very simple. There is nothing humane about letting a gang member, a violent gang member, into our country illegally. You want to come in? Sure, absolutely. We are a country built on immigrants. Come on in. There's a system. It's set up. But I don't want to hear Mike Florio's dumb ass start talking about it. Give me a break. Woke gas bag Mike Florio, who is hot off an appearance in the OutKick 2025 woke bracket. That's right. Is back in the news. It's this time he's shaken to the core by the deportation of suspected MS-13 gang members. Our country is in crisis. Why? Because we are deporting criminals. How is our country in crisis by deporting criminals? Nobody said a word when Obama deported hundreds of thousands. Nobody said a word when Bush. Nobody said a word until Trump does it. Trump cleaning up a mess made by Democrats, specifically Joe Biden, flying them in. Unvetted. Let's go. Open our borders. First president in my lifetime to be that stupid, but that's what we do. But Mike Florio somehow is shaken to the core by some criminal being kicked out by his wife. I don't know if you saw the picture, covering up his gang tattoos and pictures all of a sudden. What is wrong with people? The humanity, the empathy. Why is that the hill to die on? Got to be somebody in a prison somewhere that DNA can find innocent. But no, somehow, some way, the Democratic Party has become the party of the MS-13 gang. It is literally unbelievable. If you know anything about MS-13, they are violent killers. As the police captain here in Indianapolis told me, they don't care about your life, and worse, they don't care about their own life. They are vicious, they are evil, they are rotten, they are murderous, they are the worst among us. Get them the living hell out of our country. Period. But yet somehow these jackasses all across the liberal specter, from Maxine Waters and her wig and her crazy, to Mike freaking Florio and his arrogance and his stupidity, they're shaken to the core. Oh, my God, I've wrapped me in tin foil. Oh, God. I've been shaken to the core by Gilmer Obrego Garcia. Not the facts, okay? What does this even mean? Let's hear. Because there's always conflicting facts. Wait a second. I'll give you a fact. We've all seen it. MS-13 across the hands. We've heard from his wife in police reports. I don't know. Maybe those aren't facts. Maybe those are just, well, they could be interpreted different ways. Shut up! There is a fact that he is in this country illegally. So interpret that for me, oh great Florio. In any case, civil or criminal, there's two sides. Sure, there's the law and there's the criminal. Let's hear from the criminal. Okay, I got MS-13 on my hands. on my wrist, on my back of my hand, on my palm, wherever, and I'm in the country illegally, that right there should be enough to say, Laka noche, saranara, arrivederci. But no, we're confusing the facts. Well, those are the facts. It's an adversarial process that is designed to have the two sides come together. Hold on. An adversarial process is not designed to have two sides come together by definition. Adversarial means pushing against one another. And the truth is determined by some neutral party. Yeah, the wife who said he beat me, assaulted me. What are we doing here? I don't care if the Chicago Bulls hat means he's in MS-13. I don't either. But the freaking tattoos do, you dumbass. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't care. I do. I do, because I talk to actual police people, not talking heads with great hair. And the police say these people are dangerous. The police say the day Biden got into office and dropped 94 of the regulations at the border, even up to a non-border city like Indianapolis, it got 50% more dangerous damn near overnight. That's who I listen to. Not some dude that's a little blogger that sucked off the executives at NBC and got his little blog site on TV. No, I don't care about anything else, factually. I care about what? The human body. Oh, here we go. He's a biologist. The human body. We have all sorts of systems and illnesses and conditions and things that complicate our existence. But at the end of the day, we need three things: oxygen, food, and water. And let me tell you where you can get that. El Salvador. If that's all we need, Mike Florio, you can get oxygen, food, water in your own country. Or you want oxygen, food, and water in the United States. You know what you do? Here's what you do. It's very simple. You go through legal channels of citizenship. Ocha capesta, my eyes are burning. Why is that so difficult? My ancestors did, from Serbia and Poland. Why not these guys? So that's all we need: oxygen, food, and water. Our government needs three things: executive, congressional, judicial, period. Co-equal branches, acting in harmony, checks and balances. It's three, not one, not two, not three. He's mad because Trump's like, what are you judges doing? Anyway, I care about this country. Really? If you care about this country, then you're smart enough to ask the people that have to deal with the bad things going on in this country. The bad things going on in this country aren't in a studio in New York City. It's not at 30 Rock. No, it's not. The bad things in this country are not watching NFL games. The bad thing in this country are happening in the streets. Who we're letting in. How soft our prosecution is of criminals, violent criminals. That's what's going on in our country, if you're paying attention. Or if you're just simply watching Twitter on your side, meaning liberal Twitter, oh my God. Co-equal branches, checks and balances. It's three, not one, three. Okay? I care about this country. I care about our future. Right. Then if you do, why do you want illegal criminals? Now, let's just take that for what it is. You know, Tom Homan and the rest have said, look, we're going to get rid of criminals first. And then we'll go get after the illegal immigrants. This guy is a criminal, at least according to his wife. Care about what's going on. When you lose, you've lost in court. You have to comply with the order of the court. You can't just say, make me. When you lose, you've lost. What's happening where there is is this open defiance of a ruling we don't like? Well, didn't we learn that from Biden? Wasn't that Biden's thing? Yeah, I don't care. We're still doing it. Like 5 different times. Yeah, I don't know. You open up that can of worms, others are going to do it. Why are we dying on the hill of this? It's interesting to me. There's always a backstory, and I have not been able to figure out the backstory. You know, were there promises made to this guy? Was he some kind of intel guy? Was he working for the government? Was he a guy that brought over drugs and sold them for the Democratic Party, the liberals? I don't know. I honestly don't. And I am shocked that this is where you want to die. Like right now, Donald Trump, his popularity his approval has never been higher. Why? Because who's he going against? He's going against the party of what? DEI? Going against the party of MS-13? What? And everyone from the craziest of crazies marching in some downtown city to guys like Florio to actual Congress people are dying on this hill on the left. Why? I'm telling you, at some point, and tell me when I've ever been wrong about these things, at some point there will be a disclosure about why this particular guy is so important. He's not. He's a criminal. He's in the country illegally. Hey, great. Look, I understand we all win the lottery, particularly guys like myself. I get it. We were born into this country. I was fortunate enough to be born with two parents. Is that privilege? No, that's common sense. Guy has a penis, woman has a vajayjay, they have sex, they have a baby, now your parents act like parents. That ain't privilege, that's common sense. That's biology. That's what you should do. So I reject any notion that because I had two parents, I got some type of privilege. My parents were human beings. Human beings do this. They parent their children. Farm animals go around like these foxes in my backyard. They just have kids. I mean, honest to God, I'm sorry. Period. So, having said that, no one's taking anybody's rights away. We're just saying in our country, we have rules and laws. And if you follow those rules and laws, all good. We understand we were born with a silver spoon by simply being in this country. But damn, and I want people to do what my grandparents did, to do what my ancestors did. Come over. Whether it's on a boat, come over legally. Ellis Island at the time, sign up, get your citizenship. Everybody should be able to do that, but not criminals here illegally. I just don't get it. I don't get why and how the liberals decided this is the most important thing to us, and we want to die on this hill. I know their word is empathy, but that's all bullshit as you see how they treat Donald Trump and people that don't think like them. So get rid of that word. I don't know, but I know this. We're going to find out at some point. You know, I've always said this. I talk for 5 hours a day, and then I add to it. Today, I'm doing a podcast for one of my former players, so there'll be more talk. Usually do a video or two, three times a week. Usually appear on somebody's radio show. There's a lot of talking, so you misstep a lot. But boy, when you misstep, everybody wants to go after you. But when you misstep like Stephen A. Smith did with Matt Ishbia, it's kind of bullshit. No, it kind of is. Smith called Ishbia the worst owner of all time. Really. The worst owner in the history of basketball, and compared him to that racist Donald Sterling. Now, Ishbia is a great story. Ishbia was a walk-on on a national championship team in 2000 for Tom Izzo at Michigan State. Then he started building an empire. In fact, he was a big-time competitor with Dan Gilbert of Quicken Loans. They competed, they fought, they battled. Both got incredibly wealthy, both big basketball guys, both Michigan State guys, interesting enough. One bought the Cavaliers, one bought the Phoenix Suns. And Ishbia brought in a overly talented team that had no chemistry and got its ass beat. Now, does that make him comparable to the racist rants, the racist dealings, the racist way Donald Sterling of the Clippers handled himself, his family, and his businesses for years and years and years? So Stephen A. Smith went out of his way to do that. It's total bullshit. Now Stephen A. Smith has to do what idiots have to do, tuck tail and apologize. Here's Smith.
Matt Ishbia needs to understand that right now you are on the verge of being recognized as the worst owner in the history of basketball. That's saying a lot. That's saying a lot. Donald Sterling once owned an NBA franchise. James Dolan, until he recently hired Leon Rose, was on that trajectory. That's the trajectory if you're Matt Ishbia, that you are on right now being recognized as arguably the worst owner in the history of basketball. Why?
How about that? Now, it's not like, hey, you know what? It's Kevin Durant that didn't play. Chris Paul did play. He gave Chris Paul contracts. You got Devin Booker over there, Bradley Beal. They didn't want to play. It's not their fault, of course. In Stephen A. Smith's world, it's the white guy. Yeah, I said it. Of course it's the owner. Can't be the players because he's got to suck at the players' teat. No, it's total bullshit. So when people came after Stephen A. Smith saying, hold on here a second, your bullshit has gone far enough. Wait a second here. Donald Sterling was a racist. Donald Sterling was awful. This guy just put together a bad team. Actually, you can make the argument that it was poorly coached. You can make the argument that the players got in there and they stunk. You can make any argument you want. You know, all of a sudden now the owner is responsible for everything. Yeah, maybe he is. Here's where Stephen A. Smith does what Stephen A. Smith had to do. After he says something stupid, he's got to tuck tail, as they say in the hills. He's got to apologize to Ishbia. What a clown this Smith guy is. Go ahead.
Matt Ishbia is absolutely right. I do owe him an apology because I mentioned Donald Sterling. I thought I was making it clear I was talking about basketball. I certainly did not mean to compare him to a person that was thrown out of this league and has been widely recognized as a racist. I should not have mentioned Matt Ishbia's name in the same breath as Donald Sterling in that regard. I did not mean to do that. I was not talking about that Donald Sterling. I was talking about the Donald Sterling that would be sitting courtside, heckling his own damn players and never winning anything and didn't give a damn. That's the Donald Sterling that I was talking about in terms of how ineffectual he was or ineffective he was as an owner on a basketball court. I certainly did not mean to do that. So Matt Ishbia is absolutely right. And for that, I apologize. I'm a man. If I'm wrong, I'll say I'm wrong. Unfortunately for you, sir, that's the only thing I'm wrong about. And that's the only apology that you're getting from me.
Yes, you, sir. The little guy behind the mic that couldn't play dead. How did he become so important? I love the fact that he has weaseled his way into becoming so important. I tell you what, if you act important to yourself, other people will take that as a sign to be thinking you're important as well. Oh, that's the only apology. You'll be no, fuck off. All right, speaking of insufferable left-wing douchebags, Jamel Hill's name pops up. She railed against former ESPN executive Norby Williamson, claiming he was the reason behind the downfall of the doomed SC6. That featured her and the equally as untalented Michael Smith, and that he made changes to the format of the show in order to make SportsCenter great again. Now, of course, it's racism. It wasn't that nobody was buying their bullshit. It wasn't that nobody thought they had any kind of chemistry or personality. Nah, it's racism. It's MAGA. You go get him, Jamel Hill. You go, girl. Let's hear.
He did a lot to de-blackify the show. Okay. And that even included the fact that, like, when we used to open the show, it would be Mike and I welcoming people into the 6 o'clock Sports Center. We're both on camera together. This is how we always did things, because we wanted people to know, hey, we're welcoming you in. You're coming to visit our house. Come grab a plate. Be merry. This is our house. And it's like, one, I don't know what y'all trying to do. Is like, you change the intro. You change the fact that Mike and I are on camera to welcome the show. Instead, you have a voice of God going over what people can expect from the 6 o'clock Sports Center. It's like almost like you wanted us to surprise the white people at 6:05 when they finally put the camera on us, to be like, oh my God, you're telling me 2 black people hosting this show? Well, I don't know about this. It's like, what? So suddenly our personality wall that had Biggie on it, Obama, John Carlos, and Tommy Smith, all that had to come down. So all the things that signal to people that these are 2 black people who have SportsCenter, gone. And so it just seemed very intentional and very purposeful that he wanted our Sports Center. He wanted to make Sports Center great again.
Oh, wow.
What are you going to do? Yeah, there's always an excuse. There's always a victimhood. There's always a reason. It had nothing to do with the fact that SportsCenter's ratings plummeted almost as much as 50% while these two were hosting. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with, well, Jamel Smith is inherently unlikable. Jamel, whatever the hell, Hill. And Michael Smith is a non-personality, just guy. Nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with neither were any good on TV. Nothing to do with that. I mean, look at how, well, where are they? I mean, honest to God, much ado about nothing. I think this is much ado about nothing either. I like what Deion Sanders did. I do. I like what Deion Sanders did. We're going to talk about this later. Retiring his son's number and retiring the Heisman Trophy winner, Travis Hunter, before they were dead. Rashaan Salam, he did not get his. He's the other Heisman Trophy winner from Colorado. He didn't get his he didn't get his number retired until after he passed away. Deion Sanders said, screw it. Now, there's a lot of alums not happy with the program and its decision to retire the jersey number 2 of Shedeur Sanders or the jersey number 12 of Travis Hunter, viewing it as a slight against past legends of the program who have yet to have their jerseys retired. Everything's black or white. Either I am a jealous old athlete who needs to cry in my old man tears, or I'm exactly right. I can't believe Coach Prime would do this. While Travis certainly deserved his flowers. What is that bullshit, his flowers? Laura, there's no such thing as his flowers. And deserves to have his number retired to forget the greatest era of college football at CU, which I was a part of when we won a national championship. It also feels like a slight. That's former national champion Chad Brown. So two things can be true at once. These guys deserve their accolades. I'm not saying flowers, fellas, but guys in the past also deserve those. I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm saying there's a lot of other deserving players who probably should have come first, considering how incredibly conservative we have become. And now to do it to two guys who are both on campus still, their graduating class hasn't even left campus. It feels a bit odd, a bit premature again. That's Chad Brown. Yeah, he's not wrong. I mean, it's kind of silly. Dude wanted his son up there. Look, we all would agree Travis Hunter should. I mean, damn, maybe not now. I don't know when, but at least they got it done and he's up there. But Sanders' kid, that is pretty funny. I love it. The vitriol from former players regarding CU retiring number 2 is loud. I think most, including myself, he deserves the honor eventually. No, he doesn't. I like it, though, bypassing the line. Bypassing number 2 Deion figures doesn't make sense. So many all-time greats. Is there really all-time greats at CU? I mean, I know our guy Nick is. He deserves it. Deserve the honor. Been waiting their turn. Why so fast? 0 waiting period? Feels like the first blunder of the Coach Prime era that has upset alumni. All right. Here's Deion Sanders responding to critics.
He can't see that. Same thing with Rashaan Salam, right? How long did we wait? I say we because I'm a part of CU now. How long did we wait?
23 years after his Heisman.
After his what?
After his Heisman?
Yeah. How many years after his death?
1. Less than 1.
So we got to die to get recognized? Ain't nobody saying nothing in the church right now. Everybody got something to say otherwise. Hey man, give people their flowers while they can enjoy them and they can smell them. That's how I get down. You guys are doing a good job. I always tell you guys are doing a good job right now. I don't wait. I'm not built like that.
There you go. Yeah. Good for him, man. He's the daddy of the program. I think once you're up, you're always up. Hell, I think Jim Harbaugh played here 3 years in Indy, and he's in the Ring of Honor. I think the Colts didn't realize they were going to get Peyton Manning, so they started putting people up to make the Ring of Honor look full. But anyway, Deion Sanders said, screw it. It's my program right now. No one's going to say nothing. Wait, if you say something, it's going to be racist. You know that. Good for Deion. He'll probably put in other kids next year. I don't know who it'll be, but somebody will get a touchdown or two, and they'll go 7-5 and be the greatest, second greatest era in CU history. Who cares? I do like Klay Thompson. I do. I like Klay Thompson. He fired back at Tim McMahon of ESPN when he asked if he would have made the same decision to join the Mavericks, knowing what he knows now. That's kind of a ridiculous question. That's what Klay Thompson said, because I don't own a time machine. Here's Klay Thompson.
Like, knowing what you know now, would you have made the same decision coming to Dallas last summer?
Don't do this. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. That's kind of a ridiculous question, because like I don't own a time machine, and I don't believe in going back, looking back. If I did that my whole career, I would not be where I'm at, and I wouldn't have been able to persevere through 2 really hard injuries. So I'm here in Dallas, and I enjoyed my time, and I'm looking forward to the future.
There you go. But you know what? We're used to ridiculous questions. I like Klay Thompson. Don't know him, never met him, but I do like his dad, Michael. He comes on the show, so anything he has to say is good by me. But I do think it is a legitimate question. Like, if you're leaving a franchise where you are iconic, where you've won championships, and quite frankly still could win a championship this year as they got off to a pretty good start, Golden State, and you leave it to join a team that has, well, one of the best 5 players in the league, and they get rid of one of the best 5 players in the league, I got to tell you, I would be thinking twice. I don't have a time machine, but we all look at our past decisions, good and bad, sometimes with regret, sometimes with wonder. You're like, wow, I didn't even know this was that good a decision. See, when I got married to my wife, I knew it was that good a decision. I did. I remember telling her, yo, you're saving my life. Sometimes you don't. Hell, I didn't know that showing up to play Lowell was going to end up with me having a scholarship to Indiana. It was a good decision. Shoot a bunch. Get some, get some points. Let the coaches give me a scholarship. What can I tell you? But the truth of the matter is, if you're Klay Thompson and you're leaving the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry and Draymond Green and now Jimmy Butler, man, it's a legit question, people. Would you have made that same decision? Now, what do you expect him to say? Oh, hell no. Hell no. The management screwed us. They screwed me. They screwed Jason Kidd. They screwed us all. Period. And Anthony Davis, street clothes, get healthy. Would ya? Could ya? I don't know. But last seen, Anthony Davis was airballing a 3 and hobbling off. Man, I got to tell you, if I was a Dallas Mavericks season ticket holder, I wouldn't renew. I wouldn't. Unless they gave us a deep discount. Because the guy they got in the trade isn't going to help you do nothing but for, 40 games, 50 games out of 82, and then he's going to get hurt in crunch time? Enough. Speaking of the playoffs, man, oh man, before the game, that clown that is Jalen Rose was telling the world, hey, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, yeah, he's the MVP, but I'm going to got something for him. I'm going to let the world know that I'm here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder won by 50. Won by 51 points. I've told you this story before. My Bowling Green team was 6-0. We went out to the University of Hawaii, won a tournament out there. Came back 6-0, 26th in the country, meaning we were like the first team getting votes, something like that, maybe 30th, I don't know, but right in there. Because we always looked to see if we would get a vote. Anyway, next thing you know, we go to West Virginia and play. One of my best players is hurt. His cousin got killed. He couldn't go. We had a bunch of other things going on. We went to Charleston, West Virginia, neutral site, to play University of West Virginia, or West Virginia University. Got beat by 46, and they had a bad team. It was one of those nights. So I drove back with an assistant, and I told him, I said, pay attention to this. I think this is going to happen. No Division I-like team is going to get beat by another Division I-like team by more than 46. So always pay attention to 46. Nobody did, I think, that year. Now, maybe, I don't know, Indiana beat Marion by 46. I don't know. I'm talking about like teams. 50 points in the playoffs. 51 points in the playoffs is remarkable. It was over before it started. John Morant and the fellas from Memphis got humbled. The Memphis coach tried his best, calling timeout, walking to the center of the court, looking all concerned and angry. Didn't matter. Now, I would guess Game 2 is going to be under 20. It seems like that's the way it goes. I don't know if it's fixed. I don't know what it is. But it feels like Game 2 is going to be under 20. Can you imagine? You got beat by 51. People say, well, I'd rather get beat by 50 than a buzzer beater. No, you wouldn't. Trust me, as someone that's been beat by both and won by both. No, you wouldn't. The Pacers look good. Good move, boy. That's right. Pacers are good, number one. They're good in all positions, number two. They're very deep, number three. And when they're making shots, they actually guard some, number four. Giannis played, okay, got his. Damian Lillard barking like a little chihuahua at Tyrese Halliburton, saying, you don't want none of this, as he was wearing a ridiculous 1980s starter outfit. So now we move it to Tuesday here in Indianapolis. Tuesday, because on Monday, Mary J. Blige has a concert in Gainbridge, is what I'm being told. So you can see Mary's back and then go to the game on Tuesday. It's a pretty good week here in Indy. Anyway, I got a poker game Friday after playing golf in Bloomington, and I got to go get my heart checked on Friday. What a day Friday is. Anyway, I digress. It's the Pacers whooping up on the Bucks. We'll see if Dame Lillard coming back makes any difference. I know what was happening with my Knicks. The Pistons look good. Cade Cunningham was killing. The Pistons were rolling. Next thing you know, Jaylen Brown does his Willis Reed, goes back in, comes out, changes shoes. 21 to zip run. Think about that for a second. Woo, baby. Man, I was just getting ready to take the Knicks -4 during that run. I was having dinner with my daughter and my son over here at a restaurant called Salt. Great restaurant. Anyway, we're sitting at the bar. The game is on. I'm having my shrimp and grits, which I love, drinking an old-fashioned. I got my kids here. What a night. Andrew's like, Dad, I got to tell you, I think the Pistons are better. I'm like, I don't know, man. I wouldn't bet it, but I wanted to bet so badly, the Knicks -4.5. They end up crushing with a 21 to zip run. Nuggets and Clippers, really good game. Nuggets got down. I know you don't care about this, and let me stop right here. You can suck it because NBA basketball is fantastic. In fact, it's better than the opening rounds this year of the NCAA tournament for a couple reasons. One, other than Saturday's games, the games are really competitive, but most importantly, the crowds are off the chain. They are. They're incredible. And Denver's game, oh, man, they made a hell of a comeback. Next thing you know, the clip joint couldn't get nothing done. Jamal Murray's missing everything. Boom, 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 3 threes. Jokic does his thing. Hell of a game, overtime. Celtics, same thing. Banchero was killing, I turned the channel to watch the golf because I'd bet Justin Thomas to win it. Next thing you know, 23-point win. Wow, that game changed quick. Come on, Franz. Come on, Banchero. Make this a series. Cavs beat the Heat. I don't know if you saw this, but whatever that Bam out of Bayou said, I don't care about Max Strus. I don't give a about the former Heat player. Max Strus has signed a big deal to go over to the Cavs. Well, Max Strus don't care about you. And whoop that ass by 21. And last night, Steph Curry just doing Steph Curry things. I mean, let's be honest. I like the Houston Rockets because one of my favorite people is Jayshawn Tate. Jayshawn Tate played at Ohio State with my son, stayed a few weeks at our house, introduced me to DoorDash. How can I not like somebody that introduced me to DoorDash? Jayshawn introduced me to DoorDash, and next thing you know, I've never ordered it, but I've delivered it. You know the story, paying back a family debt. I got ridiculed for it, but that's only by slap blanks that don't know their backside from third base. So there you go. Look, you can get mad, and rightfully so, at the regular season in the NBA. You can, here at OutKick, we do, root that the NBA ratings fall apart. You can be disgusted by the politics, the wokeness, the Black Lives Matter on the court, the nonsense of Jalen Rose when he was calling games, the idiocy of the pre, post, and halftime show that they're finally getting rid of. But you got to admit, when you watch a playoff game, particularly in the second half, man, it's stunning how good players are. It's stunning how into it the crowd is. I mean, look, for the Pacers game, my stepdaughter Tegan and her boyfriend Charlie, they had tickets way up top, and they bought them gleefully for 60 bones apiece. That's the environment that you get into. And they got a T-shirt. Hey, who doesn't have enough Gold Rush T-shirts coming from the Pacers? I don't know. I certainly could use a few more. I would go Tuesday, but it's supposed to be nice, so I'm playing golf. What can I tell you? I can always watch it at home, but I can't play golf every day. But anyway, watch the second half of playoff games, and then thank me later. Come back and say, yo, Double D, you're a god-dang genius. All right, don't forget, we got Charles Davis coming up. We've got Sean McDonough coming up. Hockey playoffs get going. They do, and I cannot wait because I love playoff hockey. I don't watch the first or second periods in playoff hockey. In fact, I don't know that I've watched the first half in a sport other than sitting with my daughter and my son the other day watching the Canucks. Anyway, long story short, let's have a day. I got stock up, stock down. And don't forget, go to our YouTube channel, like, subscribe, and comment. That's right. Like, subscribe, and comment. And check out our videos that we put up because they're always very good. You get Charlie. Oh, no, you don't. You get me, you get Tommy, you get Hot Mike, you get Klay, you get Ricky. You get it all, baby. Also, shop.outkick.com. I'm going to wear my sack up shirt tomorrow. I got a little fat in the last week. Doesn't fit as good as it used to, but I'll be wearing it tomorrow. Shop.outkick.com for all of your Don't At Me gear.